not steward my time properly. I think about the amount of time that I spend doing other things that I could have used for my actual goals. And it's no wonder that I'm not further than what I am. God just may have given you the idea so you know where you're going. He did not give you the idea necessarily to stop everything that you're doing right now and just go. And that is what I find myself doing. Oh, I'm so busy, but busy doing what? Busy doing what? And so that is how I got to the scripture for today. Welcome to today's episode of Flip the Word. I am your amazing host, SJ Stevens. Y'all, this scripture for me is so personal today. I have been slacking. And what I mean by that is that, I do not steward my time properly. I know what my week looks like for the most part. Like, I plan my own work week, I plan my activities, I plan my schedule at the part-time job. Like, I literally am in control of my own schedule. And I still don't make time for the things that I need to make time for. I keep saying, oh, I'll do it tomorrow. Oh, I'll get to it later, or I'll find a million other things to do in lieu of what I promised myself and God that I would do. So what I'm specifically talking about is even just recording these episodes. So my dedication was Wednesday open house, Friday flip the word, and then I just threw in Sunday car conversations. It seems like a lot. However, if I do it how I know I'm supposed to do it, which is stay off of social media on Saturday, record all day on Saturday, car conversation is unedited, so that's just an easy, 2-3 minutes. But the other 2 episodes, that then gives me days to edit, to make reels, to make posts, all of that, right? What do? Record Wednesday morning to release Wednesday night, as if I don't have a full-time job and a part-time job in the middle. Or we flip the word, and it's so sucky because flip the word is really the segment that means the most to me, because it's the segment that stretches me the most, and it's also the segment that gets the burnt end of the stick, because Fridays at 2, typically I work Thursdays. In order for me to do it on Friday at 2, I really, really need to record in advance, y'all. And I just have not been making the time. And it's still like, oh, I'm so busy. But busy doing what? Busy doing what? And so that is how I got to the scripture for today. In full transparency, I have never read this book of the Bible. I had not even, again, heathen too holy. I don't ever remember sitting in a church service where this scripture ever even came up. So it was definitely very new to me, but it was just so, it was so on point, I had to share. So today's scripture is Haggai 1:5-6. Now therefore, thus saith the Lord of hosts, consider your ways. We're going to come back to that. Consider your ways. Like, excuse me, God. It says then, ye have sown much and bring in little. Ye eat, but ye have not enough. Ye drink, but ye are not filled with drink. Ye cloth you, but there is none warm. And he that earneth wages to put it into a bag with holes. So basically, it's like you doing all of this stuff and you are still not like seeing the fruit of what you're doing. And this is something that I know it afflicts me. And I say afflicts because it is something that I've definitely got to work on. It's something that I know I have to overcome to get to this next level that I'm going to. But y'all, the thought of like hustle mentality, the thought of always being busy, of always doing something, like that is what I have for the longest. Like, I have put a lot of my value in that. Oh yeah, I got a full-time job, I got a part-time job, I'm in journalism school, I'm getting my PMP, I'm getting my Scrum Master, I got a podcast, I'm writing a book, I do so much. And it's not that whole like jack of none, or what, jack of everything, master of none. It's not even that, because like in full transparency, I am really good at a lot of things. Like God really has laid a blessing on me in so many ways, and I'm so thankful and I'm so grateful. So it's not that, but what it is that it's almost like I'm so excited that I'm trying to do everything at once. That like if an idea pops into my mind, I feel obligated to see it through. And it doesn't matter what else I'm interrupting. It doesn't matter what else I have going on. It doesn't matter what already is in the making. It's like I am so conditioned to be on the go that I'm not productive at all. So the first thing, y'all, that I want to talk about in this particular scripture is it says, consider your ways. That like I could have just did that one piece of the scripture and it had been enough, because basically what that says is, do your actions support the things that you really want? Not only do they support the things that you want, but do they support the things that God told you are yours? Like if you say you want to be a husband, right? And it's in the Bible, he that finds a wife finds a good thing, but you out here sleeping with every woman that walk past you. That's not, those actions and that end result, those do not go together. That is not how that works. You do not become a husband once you are a husband. You become a husband prior to. So if your aim is to be somebody's husband, somebody's good, godly, you know, God-fearing leader of a household, husband, you can't possibly think that sleeping with anything that walk past you is gonna get you there, right? It's gonna get you some fun. It's gonna get you some headache. It's gonna get you some baby mamas. It's gonna get you some good nights, and it's gonna get you some nights that you regret. But it's not gonna get you to where you're supposed to be at. Same thing with me. So like my goal, y'all, my overarching goal professionally, let me say that, is I really want to be some like high level just product analyst, scrum master, project manager. Like I want like some super duper next level, very high six figure running some stuff type of activity going on. Like that is my career goal. With my domestic violence work that I do part-time, I want a domestic violence shelter. Everything was set up in St. Louis, the LLC, you know, I write my own grants, like everything was everything. And then the relocation came about. The podcast, I very much see this podcast being just like this nationally syndicated, you know, thousands of downloads. SJ Stevens is a household name. Flip the Word is on shirts, it's on hats, it's on book bags, it's on all the things, right? That is what I want for myself. But I find myself doing stuff like scrolling on social media for 5-6 hours a day. I find myself randomly taking classes that have nothing to do with what I'm trying to do, because like I am a forever student. And in my mind, like the more you know, like the more you'll grow. I find myself, I mean, y'all, it is just so much stuff that I do that has nothing to do with my end goal. Like, and when I think about it, I think about the amount of time that I spend doing other things that I could have used for my actual goals. And it's really, it's no wonder that I'm not further than what I am. Now, this is not me beating up myself. This is not me, you know, failing to recognize the growth that I know I've exhibited, the changes that I know I've done, the discipline that I know I just got. But y'all, it is very much to acknowledge when he says consider your ways. I would say maybe 60% of my actions do not support my end goal. And that is the oddest thing ever. The next thing it says, y'all, is you sow so much, which means you doing so much. You dropping seeds everywhere. I'm a podcaster. I'm a grant writer. I'm a mother. I'm going to be this man's wife. I am a professional. I am planting seeds everywhere, right? And not a lot. No, let me not say that. I will not say nothing is coming from it, because I am absolutely seeing the results of everything that I have sown. But I can say that it is happening at a slower rate, because one thing that I have often confused is that being busy does not mean that you're being effective. Being busy just means that you busy. Like I'll come home, oh, I had a 14-hour day. What you doing 14 hours? Like if I had to like list out what I did in 14 hours, y'all, it's not a productive day. I will say that it's not a productive day. Effort without alignment is not how you get to your end goals. There are things that I do that literally do not align with where I'm going. So, despite the fact that I may show up at these classes, I may pass the test at the end of these classes, I may hang the certification on my wall at the end of these classes, but if the class is not directly related to my end goal, then what did I do that for? Just to say I did something, just to say I've checked off a box, and that is what I find myself doing. And I know that I'm not the only one. So it's like, y'all, what do we do? How do we get from booked and busy to actually just productive? And being productive does not mean that you're busy. Being productive does not necessarily mean you got to have a 14-hour day every day. It means if you take nothing more than 1 hour a day and just really hone in on one thing, that 1 hour a day beats 5 minutes here, 10 minutes here, or it beats no time because you're busy doing other things that have nothing to do with the big thing. Like, I definitely have to do better with my stuff because, again, y'all, God has blessed me with so many talents, and like, I sometimes wish people could see the inside of my mind, like the way that it works, the ideas. Like, God has been talking to me like vividly since maybe 2021 when I did what did I do 2021? Oh, The Uglier Side of the Truth. When I did the book, the blogs, the round table, all of that. But that year, I also did my anthology. Y'all, do you know that that literally was a dream? I had that dream on a Friday night going into Saturday morning when I was in Kansas City. I remember it like yesterday. I had the idea. I put it out on social media on Sunday. The book production was rolling by Monday. Like, I go, right? And it's like, it's nothing wrong with that because, again, I feel like God is literally telling me what to do. God is ordering my steps. But where I think I messed it up at, it's just because God gives me the idea does not mean that I have to start the idea right now. It's literally okay to have an idea, to pray over it, to work out the logistics, to do the research, and then do it in a month or do it in 2 months, or it may not even be ready then. God just may have given you the idea so you know where you're going. He did not give you the idea necessarily to stop everything that you're doing right now and just go. And that is what I find myself doing. And it's like, no, God does not want me to stop what I'm doing. I feel like he is pleased with most of the things that I'm doing. He doesn't want me to wait till things are like perfect. He doesn't want me to like keep starting over, but he does want me to consider what I'm doing, y'all. And I know if he wants it for me, he wants it for y'all. So like, today's scripture really is just for anybody who is like me, anybody who is busy all the time, but it feels like busy doing nothing. For anybody that knows that like you are really, really good at something, and you know that you are just like one step away, one video away, one blog away, one book away from like your whole entire life changing, and you cannot figure out like what's the next step to this next step. Yeah, I'm literally convinced that it is this scripture. I am literally convinced that we have to stop and consider our ways. We cannot believe that God has given us the blueprint, that God has given us this grandiose idea of what life can be, and then we keep on falling short. We know that God does not tell a lie. We know that if God promised it, the promise is there. So what are we doing to prevent us from getting to the promise? Consider your ways. Like, yeah, this really is just about self-evaluation. And so for me, again, because everything I talk about is literally about me, my promise to myself is to be a better steward of my time. It is to cut back on the meaningless things that I do. And that's not to say like don't have fun, don't get on social media, don't engage with other people. It's not to say that because that would be unrealistic. It's not to say that I'm not going to binge my shows every now and again. But it is to say that if my priority is my career, if my priority is my entrepreneurship, if it's my podcast, if it's me getting in shape, if it is me better preparing myself to be this man's wife, then the majority of my actions need to be aligned with that. If not, what am I really doing? What am I doing? So, y'all, my faith is going to show up from this moment forward in my follow up. If I say that I'm going to do something, I am going to do it no matter what. I am going to, my word has to be so full of integrity that anybody that encounters me, if she says she gonna do it on Monday, it's done on Monday. If I say I'm going to release a video on Wednesday, on Friday, and on Sunday, I need people to be able to, like clockwork. It's there no matter what. No matter if I got to stay up super duper late or get up super duper early, or if I got to blow through PTO time because I'm not being productive. I owe it to myself to see this through. I owe it to God because, again, He redirected this whole podcast. Yeah, this was supposed to be called All Things Over 35. And we are supposed to be talking about the most hood, radish, sensationalized foolery known to man. God told me, no, ma'am, you will not. And so, with that, He redirected me. He gave me a new audience. He gave me a new purpose. And, like, who am I to not steward that purpose properly? So, y'all, that's all I have for today. You will absolutely see me Sunday for core conversations because I'm recording them in advance. So if y'all see me in the car in the same spot multiple times over, just understand that this is like, I owe this to myself. Whatever this looks like, the schedule has to be the schedule. If something is not aligning properly, you feel like you're doing a work, if you feel like, you're giving it 110% and you're still not seeing the results, go back to the beginning, y'all. Consider your ways. Make sure that what you're doing is actually aligning with your end goal. I promise that's where the problem lies at. It's not in the promise. It's not in you being a good steward. It's not in, or you not being a good steward. It's not in anything, but you probably just aren't in alignment the way that you think you were, because I know I wasn't. So that's all I have. Enjoy the rest of your day. Mwah.